Hey guys, it's Kyle Bennett with hardocp.com, and what we've got for you today is the unboxing of the new AMD Radeon VII, which is known to be the first 7nm GPU for gaming released on the market. So I want to show you exactly how this is coming out of the box today. And I will tell you, this box is extremely, extremely heavy. So there we are, AMD Radeon VII with our new Radeon VII logo. So this is obviously our reviewer's kit, and here's why the extreme weight in the box is because of this acrylic piece that actually has a really beautiful look at the die. That's really awesome. Got a couple batteries here, so I assume we're RGB capable. We'll see what that does. So as we thought, while we had a little bit extra weight in the box, this is actually a video card stand, which is pretty cool. So here's our card out of the anti-static wrap. I know a lot of people are going to be happy with this look, nice and clean. Two 8-pin connectors. The Radeon logo in the corner that we've become familiar with. Going to be illuminated across the top here. And that nice back plate as well. So there's a look at our card on the stand. Got to admit that looks pretty spiffy. Makes for a good visual, certainly. Let's see what it looks like in the dark. Well, obviously this is just a reviewer's kit, but that makes for a pretty snazzy looking package. Give them props on marketing for that. So that's probably as good a use for acrylic as I've ever seen outside of a bulletproof glass. And that is actually a real Radeon 7 die there that they've got in the showpiece. So before we go tearing it apart, let's see how much she comes in weighing. 2 pounds, 13 ounces, or 1,286 grams. So this is what your new Radeon 7 will look like up and running on your own test bench. Nice clean look to it. Of course, the first thing that's going to be really noticeable to everybody, this is not a blower style card at all. We've got our 3 axial fans here. And if you look at the way the heat sinks run, all of our heat sinks are vertical. As you can see, these all run up and down. Here on the bottom of the card, you can actually see all of our fins here and our copper plate here. So we've got just using my sense of touch while it was running in our test bench there, we got a pretty good bit of air that's being dumped out of the bottom here. And we have a pretty decent amount of air that's being exhausted across the top here. We had really good airflow over here, and I wish I could get my hand down directly under it while it was inserted our PCIe slot. So they're moving quite a bit of air across this cooling system. So now what I think we should do is we ought to take it apart and see what's inside. So that did not end up being as easy as I thought at all. The shroud on here has 4 attachment points, and all those are Torx head screws. And I could not find one tiny enough out of all my tools, and I looked for about an hour, that actually fit it. So what I ended up using was a flathead that made it across, and I was able to get those out without stripping any teeth off, but I would not suggest that. Also, this front cover here actually overlays that shroud. So I wanted to loosen this up to give it a little bit of flex. And the 4 tiny screws here, I did not have a Phillips head that would fit these either. I finally found one, but I had to be really, really careful not to strip those out. Those were screwed in there more tightly than anything I think I've ever seen before. So let's see if we can get the cover off this thing now. So let's see if we can get this off here. We should be able to That's a solid piece of steel there with a heat sink. Not forcing anything, slightly lifting. All right, you see we got separation moving there. So you can see our plug right here on this end. Okay, so I can see our wiring through here. We do have enough slack there. I just wanted to be really careful that we didn't damage it taking it apart. And I think I just about pulled the plug off the board, which is not good. So I'm having problems getting the tool slipped in there to unlock it. You can already see where we pulled that off. We did not damage the traces, but what we did was pull the plug off. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. I can fix that pretty easily going back. So throwing a tad bit of caution to the wind. There's our shroud off. We can see these are First D fans. I'm not familiar with this brand. DC brushless fans, 12 volt, 0.32 amps each. You can see our wiring under here for the Radeon logo. There's obviously our wiring that was plugged into the board for the corner logo. And you can see how our fans here are run together, taped down, and come back into this single header back here. And how so all of our air is going to be vented up or down. And so 100%, nearly 100% of that is going to be vented into your case. There's going to be a tiny bit vented out the end from that last axial fan, but not a whole lot. So you're going to definitely want good heat flow characteristics inside your case to use this. Let's go ahead and tear it down and see what she looks like naked. So you can see our back plate movement there. We've got a bunch of standoff pads here on the back. None of these are conductive. These are just to keep you from shorting anything out. Nice black PCB. Pretty. Here, let go. And we are free. And that, my friends, is what a naked Radeon VII looks like. Now, what is so incredibly, obviously we're dealing with HBM2 here, so you don't have the RAM layout, but not to see all the VRM smashed into this end of the board is still, I mean, I've seen this before, but I'm seeing it again, and it's still just kind of incredibly amazing. So you see our VRMs, our MOSFETs laid down. We've got thermal padding here, and here. We pulled off one piece of thermal padding. Make sure this stay at home. So you've got this structure in the middle. Interesting on the TIM, we see that AMD has used a graphite thermal pad. I do not believe that to be our normal TIM material that we're used to seeing. Take a look at the graphite thermal pad on here. You can see obviously it is a sheet, not a traditional liquid TIM. It's a lot less mess to clean up. Wads up into a little ball. So you can see much better look at our heat pipes that run through here. So this should be, judging by the weight, I'm assuming this is a vapor chamber on here. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So there's your first look at AMD's new Radeon VII, 7 nanometer. Supercharged Vega architecture, 60 compute units, 3840 stream processors, 1.8 gigs peak engine clock, 1 terabyte per second of bandwidth. And so obviously we're already testing, or we'll get back to testing this in actual gaming, and we'll have a review for you soon. This is Kyle Bennett with HardOCP.